Listen to me. Some of you have been walking around your whole life, seeing nothing but the walls, nothing but the ceilings, nothing but the chains. You've been looking at yourself through the lens of your failures, your shortcomings, the things that didn't work out. Every time you try to step forward, you hear that voice in your head telling you what you can't do. And because that voice is loud, because you've been listening to it for years, you started believing it. You started shrinking yourself down to fit inside the box that life or people or even your own mind built for you. But I came here to tell you today, you've been seeing it wrong. The problem ain't your talent. The problem ain't your gift. The problem ain't even your past. The problem is how you see yourself. See, you've been trained to focus on limitations. You've been taught to measure yourself by your scars, by your mistakes, by your weaknesses. And when you do that, of course the world looks dark. Of course success looks impossible. But the truth is, what you see is a reflection of what you believe. If you keep staring at yourself like you're not enough, you're going to move like you're not enough. You're going to talk like you're not enough. You're going to accept less than what you deserve. But the moment you shift your vision, the moment you stop staring at what you don't have and start recognizing what you do have, the whole game changes. When I say change the way you see yourself, I'm not talking about pretending or faking it. I'm talking about understanding that deep inside, there is more in you than what you've been showing the world. You've got power in you, but you'll never tap into it if you're always focused on what's missing. You keep saying, I don't have the degree. I don't have the money. I don't have the connections. That's the wrong lens. You've got resilience. You've got creativity. You've got heart. You've got the ability to wake up tomorrow and grind like your life depends on it. And the people who make it, the ones who rise above, they aren't always the smartest. They aren't always the most talented. They're the ones who changed the way they saw themselves. Think about it. Some of the greatest people who ever lived didn't come from privilege, didn't come from wealth, didn't come from a perfect background. They came from nothing, but they refused to let that nothing define them. They saw something greater in themselves before the world ever saw it. That's the difference. Some of you are waiting for validation, waiting for somebody to clap for you, waiting for somebody to point out your gift. Stop waiting. Start seeing it yourself. Because the moment you believe it, the world has no choice but to adjust to it. And I know some of you are sitting there saying, but you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I lost. You don't know how many times I failed. You're right. I don't. But here's what I do know. Your past doesn't have the authority to decide your future unless you hand it the pen. You keep rereading the same chapter, crying over the same mistakes, doubting yourself because of the same scars. It's time to flip the page. It's time to stop seeing yourself as broken and start seeing yourself as becoming. Those scars, they're not proof that you're weak. They're proof that you survived. They're proof that you fought through it. And if you made it through that, there is nothing in this world that can stop you when you finally decide to rise. But here's the key. You can't just say it with your mouth. You've got to see it with your eyes. Every morning when you wake up, you've got a choice. You can look in that mirror and point out every flaw, or you can look in that mirror and declare, I'm not finished yet. I'm still growing. I'm still fighting. I'm still capable of becoming more. Your life will always move in the direction of your vision. If your vision is small, your life will be small. If your vision is limited, your opportunities will be limited. But if your vision is big, if you can see yourself stepping into rooms you've never stepped in, If you can see yourself accomplishing things you've never accomplished, then you'll start moving with the kind of energy that makes it real. Stop seeing obstacles. Start seeing opportunities. Stop seeing what you're not. Start seeing what you are becoming. The moment you change the way you see yourself, you unlock a version of you that has been waiting all along. And that version of you, that's the one that wins. Too many of you have been living your life like you're a product on clearance. You've been walking around letting other people slap labels on you, put a price tag on you, decide your worth. You let your boss tell you what you're capable of. You let your family's doubts define your ceiling. You let people from your past determine how high you can climb. And some of you, you don't even need anybody else to do it. You've been discounting yourself. You've been convincing yourself that you don't measure up, that you're not enough, that what you bring to the table has no value. And I need you to wake up and hear me clearly. Your value is not up for debate. See, when you don't understand your value, you'll settle for anything. You'll stay in relationships that drain you, jobs that don't grow you, environments that suffocate you, all because you don't realize what you're worth. When you don't know your value, you tolerate disrespect, you accept mediocrity, you play small. And the dangerous part is, once you live like that long enough, you start thinking that's all you deserve. But let me tell you, just because somebody else doesn't recognize your worth doesn't mean you don't have it. Diamonds don't lose value just because somebody doesn't know how to appraise them. Gold doesn't stop being gold just because somebody overlooks it. And you don't lose your worth just because the world doesn't clap for you. Your value is not determined by opinions. Your value is not determined by how many likes you get, how many followers you got, or how many people approve of you. Your value comes from the fact that you are still here, still breathing, still standing after everything you've been through. Your value is proven by your ability to keep showing up, even when life tried to break you. And the moment you start to truly believe that, everything around you shifts. The way you walk shifts. The way you talk shifts. The way you carry yourself shifts. People can sense when someone knows who they are. You ever notice that? The room changes when somebody walks in who knows their worth. They don't have to brag. They don't have to scream. They don't have to convince anybody. Their presence speaks for itself. But here's the thing. If you don't see your own value, you'll forever wait for somebody else to validate it. And that's dangerous because people are fickle. People will celebrate you one day and crucify you the next. If you allow their praise to make you, their criticism will break you. That's why you've got to stand on something deeper. You've got to look at yourself in the mirror and recognize that what you carry, nobody else carries. Your gift, your experiences, your resilience, your fire, it's unique to you. That's your value. And you don't have to beg anybody to believe in it. You just have to start walking like you believe it yourself. I know some of you have been overlooked. Some of you have been counted out, ignored, underestimated your whole life. And it hurts. It hurts to feel invisible, to feel like nobody notices the grind, nobody sees the effort, nobody acknowledges the struggle. But let me flip it for you. Sometimes being overlooked is the greatest blessing, because while they're busy underestimating you, you've got time to build in silence. You've got time to grow without the noise, to sharpen your gift without the pressure. And when you finally step out, when you finally show the world what's inside you, the same people who counted you out are going to wonder where you came from. Stop attaching your value to things that change. Money changes. Status changes. Titles change. What doesn't change is the worth that's already in you. If you strip away the job, if you strip away the possessions, If you strip away the opinions, what's left is still valuable. Don't you dare measure yourself by temporary things. Your value is eternal. The moment you own your value, everything changes. You stop chasing people and people start chasing you. You stop begging for a seat at the table and you start building your own table. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable and you start standing tall in your truth. The way you see yourself determines how others see you. If you walk in the room like you're worth nothing, they'll treat you like you're worth nothing. But if you walk in the room knowing your worth, even if they don't like you, they've got no choice but to respect you. So from this day forward, stop negotiating your value. Stop discounting yourself because somebody else doesn't recognize your worth. You were born valuable, and nothing you've gone through has the power to change that. Walk like it, talk like it, live like it, because your value is not up for debate. The biggest battle you'll ever fight is not against the world, not against people, not against circumstances. It's against your own mind. The way you think about yourself sets the tone for everything you do. If your mind is poisoned with negativity, doubt, and fear, then your life will mirror that. But if your mind is focused, disciplined, filled with belief and conviction, then your life will rise to match that vision. Your mindset creates your reality. And until you understand that, you will always feel like life is happening to you instead of life responding to you. Some of you are stuck not because you lack opportunity, but because you lack the right mindset. You tell yourself, I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not built for this. And because you keep rehearsing that script, your actions follow. You play small. You quit before you even start. You hesitate when it's time to move. And the worst part, you don't even realize you've been hypnotized by your own thoughts. You've been feeding your mind junk for years. And now you're living out the story you created in your head. That's why you've got to change the way you think. Listen, if you walk like a loser, talk like a loser, think like a loser, you become a loser. That's just real. But the moment you start shifting your mindset, the moment you start declaring, I am capable, I am strong, I am built for this, then your actions begin to line up with that belief. And over time, your reality transforms. Champions don't win because they never face obstacles. They win because they think differently about the obstacles. They see barriers as opportunities, setbacks as setups, losses as lessons. It's not that life gives them better conditions. It's that their mindset interprets those conditions differently. I've seen people with less talent outwork and outlast the ones with all the natural gifts. Why? Because their mindset wouldn't let them quit. I've seen people with no connections build empires from the ground up. Why? Because their mindset told them, I'll find a way. And I've seen people with everything handed to them lose it all because their mindset was soft, entitled, and unprepared. That's the power of the mind. It builds or it destroys, and you decide which one it does for you. You can't keep feeding yourself negativity and expect to produce positivity. You can't keep surrounding yourself with doubt, with gossip, with excuses, and expect to rise. You've got to guard your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. What you think, you eventually speak. What you speak, you eventually act on. What you act on becomes your habits, and your habits shape your life. So when you change your mindset, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're changing the direction of your whole life. Some of you need to stop replaying the old tapes. Stop rehearsing the moments you failed, the times you embarrassed yourself, the mistakes you made. Stop letting those old memories build your current mindset. You are not the same person you were back then. You've grown, you've learned, you've survived. Every day you wake up, you've got the chance to build a new mindset, to plant new thoughts, to speak new words over your life. And if you do it long enough, your reality will bend to match that belief. I get it. It's not easy. Changing your mindset feels like war because you've been conditioned for years to think small, to expect less, to believe only what you can see. But here's the truth. Everything great that was ever built was first seen in the mind, before the building, before the business, before the breakthrough. Somebody had to see it in their head. Your reality is just a reflection of your imagination and your discipline. If you can't see yourself as more, you'll never become more. So today, make the decision to think differently. Stop telling yourself it's too late. Stop telling yourself you're not worthy. Stop telling yourself you'll never get out. Flip the script. Tell yourself you're built for this. Tell yourself you're enough. Tell yourself your future is bigger than your past. Because when you start talking like that, you start walking like that. And when you start walking like that, the world has no choice but to treat you like that. Your mindset is the architect of your life. Build it strong, build it bold, build it unshakable. Because once you change the way you think, you will change the way you live. The reason most people never see transformation in their life is not because they're not capable. It's because they don't truly believe it's possible for them. They look at other people's success and say, that's for them, not for me. That's for people who had better parents, better schools, better breaks, better luck. And the moment you think that way, you've already disqualified yourself. You don't even step into the fight because in your mind you've already lost. But the truth is, greatness doesn't belong to a chosen few. Greatness belongs to anyone who decides to believe bigger, to work harder, and to live greater. You've got to understand, belief is the fuel that keeps the engine running. Without it, the moment life gets tough, and it will get tough, you're going to quit. And when you quit, you confirm the lie you believed all along, that it wasn't possible for you. That's why belief is the foundation. But belief without work is just a dream. Belief must push you into grind mode, into sacrifice mode, into that space where you're willing to do what others won't so you can live the life others can't. Most of you stop too early. You start something, and the second it gets hard, the second it doesn't look like the results are coming, you pull back. You start talking yourself out of it. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I don't have what it takes. No. You've got to believe bigger than the pain you feel. You've got to believe bigger than the obstacles in front of you. You've got to hold on to the vision of where you're going so strongly that nothing in your current reality can talk you out of it. Because when you believe bigger, you give yourself permission to keep moving even when it hurts, even when it looks impossible, even when everybody else is walking away. And then there's the work. Belief without work is wasted potential. It's easy to say, I believe in myself. It's easy to hype yourself up when you're motivated. But the proof of belief is in the work you put in when nobody is watching. The proof is in those nights when you're tired, but you stay up studying, practicing, building. The proof is in those mornings when you want to sleep in, but you drag yourself out of bed because your dream is bigger than your comfort. Anybody can talk about belief, but the ones who transform their lives are the ones who put belief into action through relentless effort. But it doesn't stop there. You've got to live greater. And when I say live greater, I'm not just talking about money, cars, or houses. I'm talking about living with purpose, living with integrity, living in such a way that your presence makes others believe it's possible for them too. Living greater means you're not just chasing success for yourself. You're using your journey, your testimony, your grind to inspire, to uplift, to show people what's possible when you don't settle. The truth is, too many people are alive, but not really living. They wake up, go to work, come home, eat, sleep, and repeat. They're breathing, but they're not alive. Why? Because they stopped believing bigger a long time ago. They let life convince them that survival was all they could aim for. But you weren't put here just to survive. You were put here to thrive. And the only way you thrive is when you stretch your belief, when you push yourself to work harder than you thought possible, and when you commit to living a life that's bigger than your excuses. You've got one life. That's it. No reruns, no rewinds. So why would you spend it playing small? Why would you spend it doubting yourself, questioning your worth, living beneath your potential? If you believe bigger, if you put in the work, if you dare to live greater, you will not only change your life, you will change the lives of everyone connected to you. People will look at you and say, if they could do it, maybe I can too. That's the power of living greater. Don't settle for average when extraordinary is within your reach. Don't accept limitations when possibility is waiting for you. Don't just exist live. Believe bigger. Work harder. Live greater. Because the life you want is already waiting for the version of you bold enough to claim it.